This is where it all begins. The 2012 Hard-Enduro season kicks off at the Natmar Quarry in Oswestry, Western England. Some of the best riders in the world descended on this event to try their hand at one of the most grueling races on Earth. Only the strong will survive, as the weak are left behind.
Getting all prepared, I think we're ready to go now.
Temperature's starting to drop now, so I think, once we get hit darkness, it's going to start freezing over.
The course is looking good. Riders have got the bikes in position on the start line.
We're ready, we want to get on with it now. It's dropping in cold, everybody's getting a little bit cold and a bit nervous, a bit tense, bikes are on the line. Yeah, we want to get on with it, let's get it done.
OK guys, good afternoon.
The tough one's a big battle.
It's going to be intense, it's going to be tough, and it's going to be a grind to the finish.
Pro riders only going first. Expert riders form a second line behind, please.
You feel nervous until the flag drops, and then you forget everything.
2.5 hour race. The checkered flag comes out at the leading rider nearest that time. And remember, you've got 50 minutes in the dark, guys.
I don't think about anything, I don't hear anything, I just click into my own little world, and I'm just focusing on Steve. When he drops that flag, I've already set off running.
For one long day each winter, this idyllic setting is beset by some of the world's most talented and toughest hard-enduro riders. Its name, the Tough One, the UK's biggest hard-enduro event. The setting is unique to the hard-enduro scene. A 2.5-hour circuit in and around a quarry is designed to take these riders to their absolute limit.
The Tough One is a unique race in a small quarry, but it's a multi-lap enduro. It's just basically a hare and hounds race, but with really difficult, gnarly sections.
It's going to be an intense race. It's quite a short lap, so again, we're going to be fighting with other riders, and yeah, you never know what's going to happen there.
You get the first lap done, it's real difficult, you're finding it hard, you're getting fatigue already, your arms are pumped up, then you realise you've got another 2 hours and 15 minutes to keep riding. And that's when it's really hard, because you've got to dig in and you've just got to reel the laps off one by one.
Different format again, it's going to be an hour in the dark, a 2.5-hour race.
The Tough One is relentless, it's just absolute killer.
Because it does exactly what it says on the tin, it is a tough one. Anybody that signs the entry form here and comes to ride at this event, you're going to have a tough time and you have to accept that. It's going to be difficult, you're going to get beat up, your bike's going to get beat up, and you're going to have to work harder than you've ever worked in your life.
It's our 8th running of this event now, which is taking it to new heights. It's growing and growing. It's a massive thing what the Tough One has done, has brought action right to the spectators' faces. It's almost like we've got an indoor enduro in places, outdoors, and with the weather and the turnout and the course that we have prepared here, I think it's going to be the best Tough One yet.
It begins with a real tough run from the bottom of the quarry up to the bikes, which is around 200 metres. Once you get on the bike, the key is to get a good start. If you can get a good start and get going around the Tough One lap, it's always good to be in front. You've not got the riders kicking up dirt in your face. The main start point of the lap is up on the top of the quarry, which is cross-country going, and then when you drop into the quarry, that's when the hell really starts.
Defending champion Graham Jarvis takes the early lead as the riders make their initial descent into the quarry. As well as being the toughest section of the course, this is where the spectators get to see the riders for the very first time.
for me, the quarry section is the toughest. You get a little bit of a rest on the top fields where it's more sort of cross-country, but once you come into the quarry, everybody's watching and there's no hiding, you know, it's relentless.
There's a water splash, there's a rock garden, there's some concrete pipes, there's 4 log sections. It's almost like an indoor enduro outdoors down there, and it's just a great spectator point.
The Tough One is a frenetic game of cat and mouse for 2.5 hours. The rider that completes the most amounts of laps after that time limit is declared the winner. As the competitors make their way out of the quarry, they come face to face with a nasty section, one that can make or break a rider's race.
It's called the root of all evil. It looks like nothing. You can walk there on any day, walking past with your dog, and you look at it and you would think nothing of it. Put a couple of barriers around it, 2 bits of rope and an arrow, and it becomes a nightmare.
There's always lots of bikes stuck upside down, and I have my own little line at the root of all evil that nobody else would even look at, but I'm confident that I can ride that line.
Punishment. As the race wears on, however, an even greater threat lurks in the minds of every rider: fading light. The last part of the Tough One will be in the dark.
I love riding in the night. People think we're crazy. You've got to change your strategy, you've got to make sure you understand you're staying on the same lines and you're working along the same sort of rhythm.
But it really does change the place when it's lit up. It looks like something from another universe. But it's good stuff, and I think the dark will make or break a few people.
Sometimes you feel good and you feel strong. Other times you look at the clock and there's still 1.5 hours to go, and it's enough to break most riders. This is the reason why a lot of riders don't finish the Tough One, because they're beat up, they're tired, they're fatigued, and when they look at the clock, mentally it can destroy them.
The race settles into a groove as the 2011 champion is riding strong while others are beginning to have issues. Nipping at his heels are Paul Bolton and Wayne Braybrook. Both have been on the podium here before and know what it takes to last the distance. For the other riders, it is simply important not to try and be a hero. You've got to pace yourself. After all, there is a lot of racing left. The popularity of hard-enduro is at an all-time high. More and more riders are dipping their toes into a sport that demands the utmost physical endurance and mental willpower. To the casual observer, competing in such a sport is lunacy. But to the riders, it is quite the opposite. The joy and satisfaction comes from overcoming one's fears and taking on whatever nature can throw at you on a bike.
Extreme enduros is taking an enduro bike over the toughest terrain possible in the fastest possible time.
It combines my trial skills and my enduro skills I've picked up over the years from riding the British Enduro Series. It's just a good fun thing to do and try and achieve and get to the finish.
It was actually David Knight that got me into extreme enduros. He told me about Hell's Gate the first year that it ran, and that kind of lit the touch paper with me at the time. I've always liked speed events like the Scott Trial and that kind of thing, and I came to the Tough One not knowing what to expect.
You've got all extreme races are different. Some are short, some are long, some go into the night time, but the main aim of them really is to get to the finish. For me, if you've done a proper hard enduro and you finish it and you think, why the hell would I ever want to do that? And when you're riding it, you're thinking, why the hell am I doing this? If you don't think that, then it isn't hard enough. And if you're enjoying it, it's not hard enough.
Now that the Tough One is ranked among the hardest events in the world, the best riders are here, eager to make their mark on the hard enduro scene. One such competitor is Graham Jarvis, who comes into the season as the #1 ranked rider on the planet.
Defending the tough one title. The track's a mixture of fast and extreme, so it's going to be fairly even, I think. I think it's going to be a close race.
As good as Jarvis is, he is going to have his hands full with a host of other challengers poised to take their shot at the silent assassin.
Second last year in 2011, so 2012, just going to go out and try not to do my usual mistakes early on. If I can make an attack for the first position, then I'll go for it.
I've raced a tough one now 5 times. I've been on the podium every time.
Great to have Wayne Braybrook back. I mean, he's always been on the podium. The Hemingways, we've got Melchior Farha from KTM Spain. It's a who's who.
It is now midway through the race, and daylight is not the only thing that is dropping fast. The tough one has claimed its first victim.
Just riding through a wooded area at the back there, and the back wheel just slipped off a root, and then it just slid into a rock. The clutch cover's blasted through, and there's oil pissing out. There's no oil left in it, so it's all over. Game over? Yeah, game over.
Graham Jarvis still holds a commanding lead out in front, but second place sees an all-out brawl between Ironman Wayne Braybrook and Hemingway. Both trials riders by craft, so it's little surprise that these two are slogging it out for that coveted second place. The rock garden at T1 is not for the faint-hearted, especially for the less experienced riders. It is both energy-sapping and demoralizing. While pain and agony ring through most of the field, one man is making it look easy. Graham Jarvis, the world's #1 rider, has mounted a huge lead. His odds of defending his crown are looking strong, and he attacks the course as though he were play riding. His effortless style instantly noticeable as he lets the bike flow with control and balance while wasting little energy. It's flawless.
Graham Jarvis, I'm from England, professional extreme enduro rider. Yeah, 2011 was a bit of a dream year, really. To win in these type of events, it's a mixture of a lot of things. You do need a good bike, and then the rider has to be 100%, or to do as well as I did. It's a bit of a dream year.
Graham Jarvis is arguably the best extreme enduro rider in the world. But the quiet man of the sport is so understated that he would turn very few heads in the street.
It's just the way I am. I don't tend to be too loud. I guess when I get to the events, I'm just sort of concentrating on what I need to do and trying to focus on getting everything right.
Like many riders who are enjoying success in hard-enduro, Graham Jarvis also comes from a trials pedigree.
No, I'm from Canterbury in Kent originally. I moved up north when I was 17. Just for better terrain, really, to ride for the trials, more rocks. Yeah, I think few people expect me to win now, so there's a bit of pressure to perform, but I think there's always going to be pressure when you're trying to win, so.
In 2011, Jarvis won every single extreme enduro he entered, except one. A guaranteed motivator for the upcoming season.
Yeah, Erzberg's the main one, I think, because it's about the only one I haven't won, so yeah, it's the one I really want, and that's what I'm aiming for, the main goal this year.
When he's not racing, Graham Jarvis can be found training in a secret spot near his home in North Yorkshire, England.
I'm going to show you a few things I do to my bike before an extreme enduro. I ride a Husaberg 300 two-stroke. The 300 two-stroke's the best bike for the job. Two-strokes always run a bit cooler when you're getting stuck in the rocks and revving it, and it always feels a bit lighter as well when you get stuck in them rocks. You can pull yourself out a bit easier, I find, and the power at low revs as well is nice and easy to control. The main thing to do to your bike is to try and protect it as much as possible from rocks and anything else you might hit. So we've got some nice protection under there for the frame and engine, carbon fibre exhaust guard. I do get some work done on the suspension, but in extreme enduros it's hard to get the suspension perfect for it because every terrain's so different. You need it set up so you can ride the fast stuff as well as the slow stuff as well. This Husaberg 300 has electric start, which is ideal if you're getting stuck and it's hard to start again because it's inevitable you're going to stall it when you get stuck in rocks or wherever. Tyres are really important because obviously you want maximum grip in these slippy events, so I run with Golden tyres and then we try and get the mousse just right as well. Run a nice soft mousse for maximum grip. Yeah, this is my climb helmet. It's ideal for the extreme conditions because it's well vented. It just stops your goggles steaming up quite so easy. And then the summer events as well, Erzberg can be real hot, so just every little bit can give you a bit of an advantage. See the vents on the top there, at the sides. Anything to try and keep you cool.
Time is now a factor as darkness and dropping temperatures begin to affect the riding. The night racing adds a certain mystique to the tough one as the eerie sight of headlights scampering along the course litter the landscape. Jarvis continues to extend his lead, lapping some riders more than twice, but the race for second is there for the taking. Wayne Braybrook has taken back second place from Hemingway. These two have been at it all race, and their battle is coming down to the wire. For the rest of the field, there is one underlying goal: for the day to end. The course has also taken a battering as 2 hours of riding has taken its toll on the terrain. Deep ruts on the uphills make it difficult to find traction. Nothing, however, can dampen the crowd's enthusiasm. This is what they came to see: the best riders on earth going head-to-head on a course that is unforgiving to those who simply aren't up to the challenge. Picking up where he left off last year, a dominant Graham Jarvis wins the 2012 Tough One. The battle for second, however, is reaching a nail-biting finish. Wayne Braybrook and Hemingway are neck and neck. The crowd anxiously waits to see who will join Graham on the podium. Finally, Ironman Braybrook emerges from the darkness to take second place. Hemingway takes the last spot on the podium.
Yeah, I was about third off the start, and then after the first lap, pulled to the front, and then didn't look back. It's an awesome feeling. It was the first time on a float, so good to get a second win.
Didn't get my head down quick enough, and I felt it hit my eye straight away. I could feel I'd cut it, but I just thought it's pointless stopping now. We just got to keep going. That was 3 laps from the end, so Graham had a good lead. Hats off to him. He's the world's best at the moment, and from my point of view, I had to look after the bike. You just bring it home.
It was a fantastic race. It was slippery. The hill was frightening. Yeah, first time on the podium, yeah, and I'm happy. And I've worked for it.
The celebration is on as the 2012 Tough One is in the books. Graham Jarvis opens the season in style and proves he'll be the man to beat for the upcoming season as he sits on top of the unofficial overall standings. The Hard-Enduro Circus will now roll into picturesque Tuscany, Italy for the second race of their season, Hell's Gate,